All right, so today we're jumping into a chapter that's given hope to millions of people. It's called A Vision for You. And what's really interesting is that this vision, it doesn't start with some grand promise. It starts with a really painful truth. So to really get what this vision is all about, we have to go back to where so many of us found ourselves, in this place of just complete isolation. The book calls it the lonely realm of King Alcohol. And man, the way it's described here just hits so hard. It wasn't just, being by ourselves. It was this active, suffocating thing, this chilling vapor that just settled in. It got thicker and blacker the more we pulled away from everything and everyone. I mean, look at this contrast. For normal folks, as the book puts it, drinking is about, well, it's about fun, companionship, feeling connected, letting go of your cares for a bit. But for us, wow. It became the exact opposite. An obsession, a constant, insistent yearning that just led to another failure and another step back into the shadows. And living in that withdrawal, we weren't just bummed out. We were being haunted. The book calls them the hideous four horsemen: terror, bewilderment, frustration, and despair. And believe me, they weren't just passing through. They were with us all the time. They basically were our reality. Okay, so that's the problem, right? A pretty bleak picture. So what's the solution? The book gets right to the heart of the biggest question we all had. What on earth could possibly replace alcohol? And this is the fear that keeps so many of us stuck, isn't it? The fear that a life without a drink is, well, just gray, that we're going to be boring, glum, just shells of our former selves. We've all been there, asking some version of this. Is there anything that can really take its place? And the answer the book gives is a loud, clear yes. But here's the kicker. The substitute isn't, taking up knitting or just gritting your teeth and powering through. It's something way bigger, something totally different. It's a fellowship. A fellowship? So where did this thing come from? You might think it started with some big official plan and a grand hall somewhere. But nope. The whole thing started with just one person. One of us, who had hit absolute rock bottom. Just try to put yourself in his shoes for a second. You're in a city you don't know. A business deal just completely fell apart. You feel discredited, you're discouraged, and you're almost flat broke. Man, that is such a dangerous, lonely place for any of us to find ourselves. So there he is, in a hotel lobby at a literal crossroads. Over there is the bar. It looks warm, inviting, promising that old familiar feeling of release, right? That first drink. But on the other side, there's just a phone booth and a church directory. The poison you know versus a desperate cry for help. And somehow, he found the strength to turn away from that bar. And what's amazing is why. It wasn't just about saving his own skin. His mind went to his family, and then to all the other folks out there who were going to die from this thing. And that thought of helping someone else is what got him to pick up that telephone. And that one phone call, can you believe it? That one desperate act led him to another alcoholic. A respected guy, someone who on the outside had it all together, but on the inside was at the absolute end of his rope. And just like that, the first connection was made. So, okay, we've got two guys. How do we get from two guys talking to a worldwide fellowship? Let's see how it started to grow. Well, their very first crack at helping somebody else, it didn't go so smoothly. They found this guy in a hospital bed, and he was just completely convinced he was a lost cause. "I'm a goner," he said. "Nothing can fix me." Sound familiar? But what these two friends did next, this was the whole key. They didn't preach at him. They didn't give him a bunch of advice. They just sat there for an hour and told him their stories, what it was like for them. And something incredible happened. As they talked, the man in the bed just kept saying, "That's me. That's me. I drink like that." He saw himself in their stories. And in that moment, he realized he wasn't some unique, hopeless case. He wasn't alone. And that little spark of identification, that was everything. So from that one success, things started to grow. And those first meetings were so simple, so pure, just casual get-togethers in people's homes. The number one goal, help the new person. That's it. No big shots, just real democracy. And there was this uncanny understanding. People could actually laugh about the crazy things they'd done. It was a real haven. So let's bring it all home. How did that small, humble beginning, two guys talking to a third in a hospital, blossom into this vision for you that the chapter promises? Well, the growth has been, honestly, it's just staggering. I mean, think about it. It starts with two men in 1935. By the time this book gets written, just 4 years later, there are a few hundred. And today, we're talking over 2 million members in more than 180 countries. It's just incredible. And according to the book, what made all this possible, what's at the very heart of this new life, was a spiritual awakening. It was about finding what it calls the great reality, a loving and all-powerful creator. Basically tapping into a power greater than ourselves. And that is the vision. That's the promise. It's the promise that you are not alone, that if you start to walk down this path, this road of happy destiny, you will find us. We'll be there with you in what the book calls the fellowship of the Spirit. And we'll close with the very last words of the chapter. It's this simple, powerful blessing that's not really an ending, but more like an invitation, a hope for the journey ahead.